Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, and welcome to Linda's Lounge, Awakening the Consciousness, and I'm your host, Linda Summers, and we've got a fantastic show for you today. Our topic is Unleashing Your Entrepreneur Spirit with Amber Annette, and I'd like to give you a little bit of information about Amber before we get started. Amber has always known that she was connected to spirit ever since she was a small child, but was afraid of it. She finally decided to embrace it in 2014 and started developing her mediumship gift, and it has been a beautiful and swift road for her. She quickly started doing individual readings, then moved into group readings, and now hosts workshops and other events. She then started to realize that she could combine her spiritual gifts with her business knowledge to give entrepreneurs channeled information about how to take their business to its highest success. She is so thrilled with her line of work and is completely aligned with her soul purpose and is now doing the same for others. And with that, I'd like to welcome Amber to the show. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much. What a great introduction.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Well, thank you for doing what you do. I mean, how cool and fascinating is this? And before we get started, I just want to let our listeners know, the people who are listening today, that if you have any questions about your business or your life, or if you want a free reading with Amber, she is willing to do this. So please call 347-850-8423. Again, that's 347-850-8423 with your questions for her on your business or your life, or if you want a free reading. So, I mean, it's amazing. Like, who would have thought to take, this business background, because you were, what I didn't mention was you were in the financial industry, banking and investments manager, business development, sales training, and marketing. Very corporate.
Yeah,
right?
for 15 years. Yeah, for 15 years. And I loved it. I really thrived in that type of environment, and I always did really well up until, this gift started opening and awakening in me. And then it was just time. It was time for me to leave that behind, but I missed it. I missed working with my clients. I missed working with small businesses with, I just missed that. So now that I'm able to combine the two, my spiritual gifts along with that background, It's just been amazing.
Well, I mean, I just think it's so cool because, like I said, who would think that you can actually take and combine those two? So that really kind of leads me to this question of, so our listeners have an idea. So what made you want to start to embrace your connection to spirit? And when you say your connection with spirit, what does that look like for our audience? So they have an idea. So it's really a two-part question.
Yeah. So the first part of the question is, what does my connection to spirit look like?
Well, so what made you want to start to embrace your connection to spirit? So you were 15 years during the corporate world. Yeah.
Yeah. It was that burning, that yearning within, that kind of scratchiness that there is something more. There's something more to this than, even though I was lucky, I enjoyed my job at the time, it wasn't fulfilling. I knew there was more to me. And when I started tapping into this connection with spirit, when I started, with the clairvoyancy, when these messages started coming through, I immediately embraced it and started just doing individual readings for people one-on-one and realized very, very quickly that I had a beautiful gift of connecting people with their past loved ones, with their spirit guides, angels, whatever, I tell people, whatever label kind of works for you. And I was hooked. I became obsessed. I just became an addict of connecting people and watching them walk away with their lives totally altered for just in so many ways, just knowing that spirit was with them. And so that really started, that hunger. That's when I got really hungry. And how can I do this for myself? How can I do this all day, every day? It became more important to me than pretty much anything else in my life, with the exception of my family, is just serving others and delivering those messages.
That's interesting, because do you feel that, being in the corporate world and in those fields for 15 years, and then all of a sudden you're getting these messages and, first of all, you're not feeling fulfilling, You feel like there's more to this. Do you feel it was in the questioning of there's got to be something more to this, I'm not fulfilled? Do you feel that that is what brought this all to light?
Yeah, actually, the last year when I was doing both, I was still in the financial industry, and on nights and weekends is when I was doing my readings. That is when I started disconnecting from that corporate role. That's when I just, it wasn't fun to go to work anymore. Not that I dreaded it, but I just wanted to do readings all the time. I just wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted to be on my own. And that's when the disconnect started happening, was over the last year. Once my gifts really came into fruition, was I just can't keep doing this. I can't keep going to a job that started to feel mindless, that started to feel numbing. I needed more. I needed something that made me happy at the end of the day, that made me excited to get up. And I say to clients, something that made me almost sad that it was Friday, that the work week was over, and excited for Mondays to start. So I have it now, right. And it's been amazing.
Well, and like you said, it happened so quickly and swift. It sounds like all of a sudden here you are in the financial field, and the next thing you know, you've got your connected spirit, which I do have a question, because I think the listeners who are listening, maybe not all of them, but so when you say spirit, because, we give God, source, universe, all these names, and I don't want to say that's what it is, because I want to ask you, when you say spirit, what are you referring to?
Well, for me, and I think it's different for everybody, I really do, but for me, when I say spirit, it can come in many different forms. So I connect in with my guides, my spirit guides, who I feel at some point were human, and now we all have them, and some people refer to them as guardian angels or something like that. And I connect in with them, and I listen to their guidance, and I feel their wisdom, and I trust that the information that they're giving me is for my highest good. And I set those boundaries with them. So and they're always switching. I have a few that have been with me since I really started opening and awakening, but they're always shifting, and I believe that they're always shifting for everybody based on what you have currently going on in your life and where you're at.
Right.
So I have spirit guides. There's also, people that have passed on that have been a part of our lives. So it's sometimes more difficult for me to tap into those people for myself, but I connect in with them very easily for others. And so they are with us, and so I'm able to connect in with them. I sometimes have the ability to channel archangels, if that's something that's within your belief system, that's great. I feel that I know that I can channel archangels, which come, from a very angelic place. So just a variety of different universal energies. So it comes in different waves. I never know exactly when I sit down with a client or when somebody's coming in where the information is going to come from. I trust it, I believe it, and I know that it's pure and that it's coming from a place of love and a place of light. So I don't deal with any of the scary I don't deal with any of the scary stuff, not allowed.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Could you tell people? Mm-hmm.
I kind of, the best kind of visual I like to give people is I'm a new age psychic medium, I have an iPad. I don't have a crystal ball. And I think when people get that, being psychic, being a medium doesn't mean what it used to mean, how many ever years ago, where it was something that needed to be hidden, or it was something that was wrong, or coming from, a place. It doesn't need to be scary or intimidating. And more people are awakening and opening to these gifts. And I think that's always a good visual to give people.
Well, and I think that was going to be really my next question was, do you feel that everyone has this ability to be able to connect to spirit? And if so, what do you feel is the avenue that for them to be able to listen to them?
Oh, yeah, everybody has it. It's whether you choose to believe it. I think it really starts with belief. Sometimes it's a lot for people to know that there's more to life and death than what's been taught out of a textbook. Absolutely, I feel everybody has the ability to connect in with their guides, with angels, God, again, kind of whatever works for you. Some great ways when I think about my experience when I first started awakening, and man, it hit me really quick. I mean, it just within a couple of days, I was all in and said, all right, I want to practice this. And within a couple of weeks, I started doing readings, and within 2 months, I was doing group readings with 25, 30 plus people. So, I mean, it can happen very quickly for you once you embrace it and say, all right, I'm all in. One of the things that really worked for me to start with was visualization and meditation. And those two things I always stress to my clients, to anybody, is they're two very, very different sets of two different activities. Visualization is really, what do you want for yourself? What does your future look like? What are your goals? What are your intentions? It's really creating in your mind all of the wonderful things that you want for yourself and being okay with that. So many people are so scared to want for themselves. And when you can get in touch there and you can start being open to creating within your mind and that visualization space, that's a great way for spirit to start entering. Meditation, it's not for everybody. There's a lot of people that would disagree.
I was just going to interrupt you. We had a caller, some caller, area code 650. If you're still listening, please call back. I just didn't want to interrupt you in the middle of what you were saying to pick up the call.
Sure.
So, yeah, so caller again, if you're there from 650, please give us a call back, and I will pick you up. And if you have a question or you want to get a reading, please call back. So, okay, yes. So the visualization and the meditation, I fully agree.
Yeah, and not everybody can meditate. I'll be really honest. Meditation can be hard for me. I like people hear me say it a lot. I like it quick and dirty. I like to get in and get out, and some people don't have the attention span to sit through deep meditation. And so I tell people all the time, do what works for you. There isn't a right or wrong way to do meditation. Do what works for you. Do where you go as deep as you need to go to get the information that you need and to feel fulfilled. So, yeah, I mean, I have a whole list of things that when I'm working with clients, I go through with them on ways to connect in with spirit, with their guides, with their higher selves. Again, whatever kind of label works for you.
I think we get so busy with life that to take time for meditation, to take time for ourselves, really, and to also to visualize, because I totally believe in not just visualizing, but it's a feeling of soul alignment. So it's connecting with the feeling of what it feels like, and not just the desire of what you're desiring. I guess if that makes any sense. So, it's like if I did a vision board and I'm putting up all these things, there's a reason why. It's because of the feeling that it gives to me. Does that make sense?
Vision boards are a great way to start, cutting out. The other thing is I tell people, I'm like, make a virtual vision board. Pinterest is a great place instead of, like the big cork board with the pictures. Start creating on Pinterest a vision board, what you want, what vehicle you want to drive, what does your dream house look like, what is your dream job. Pinterest is a great place to get visuals and to put them into place.
Absolutely. We've got a caller back, so I want to make sure that they don't make it drop. So we have a caller from 650. Sorry about that. So welcome to the call.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
This is Algerine. How are you all?
Hi, Algerine. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, you're welcome. I've been waiting for this.
I'm sorry?
I said I've been waiting. I said I've been so excited about this. I'm on the same path of visualization and meditation, and I've been doing it now, and I can see the results. And so I guess, kind of what I don't know. I guess I kind of just wanted to know, really, should I just continue to follow it? Because I really want to know what my purpose is in life. It seems like I have so many different things going on, and I don't really know which one. So I guess just keep this up, and maybe it'll happen. It'll just.
Well, thank you. So here's so the first thing that I'm getting for you is that there's some family distractions going on for you right now. Yeah. So where I see you you're almost trying too hard when you're visualizing and when you're meditating. You're trying so hard to you just want that answer. You want to know. You just have that sense of knowing, that sense of yearning, that you're almost you're putting up a block to receive and to really be with information that's starting to flow through you. Now, have you ever, are you a writer? Do you ever write?
Yeah, I mean, as far, I write down a lot of what I feel and.
This is more action items. Ask before, so go into a meditation, and when I meditate, I will sometimes just sit with my notebook right next to me with a pen, and that is when some of my best information comes through, is even though I'm in a state of meditation, I will pause and write whatever comes through at that point. And that's how I channel. That's how I get the best of the best information from Spirit, is through meditation, and then I write it immediately. So you can pop back and forth, and then you can go back to sitting and being still and listening. But there's something about this distraction within your family that's keeping you from being focused and keeping you from being all in for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I just figured that out. So, I just figured that out. And I'm so okay with that now that I don't have to let it bother me anymore, and I feel
and it's going to go on whether you give attention to it or not. It's going to continue. So stop giving it attention and start giving that same attention and that same time to yourself and to your soul, and just relax and give yourself some space and some time to really sit and calm. You don't need that chaos. You don't need it. Right now you're on the edge. You're very close to breaking down this wall and to coming into some of your best years ever. So let the distractions be where they are. Whether you're involved or not, they're going to stay exactly the same as they are right now. I hope that makes sense for you.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. Yeah, you're right on. Right on.
Well, thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well,
with that, thank you. With that, I'd like to actually just offer out, why don't you let people know how they can get in touch with you? And if you want to announce, too, that you also have your show where people can call and ask questions, let's just put that in there, and then we'll put that in at the end again.
Sure, yeah. The name of my website is always the best place, Your Intuitive CEO. And I actually have a blog on there also called Ask Amber, where I will sometimes just pop over and there's questions people leave. It was actually really cool. Somebody called me the New Age Dear Abby, because I'll go in there and I'll just answer all kinds of questions about your life and how to have your best life and how to have your best business. So, that's I love that. I couldn't believe it when somebody called me that. I'm like, that's quite the compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. So it's yourintuitiveceo.com. They can reach you. Okay.
Yep. And then there's also information there for my radio show that I have. I host it once a month. And that's my whole show is I just take live callers, people that have questions, people, just like our caller that just called in who are hungry and they just need to know that they're on the right path. They need to know that they're heading in the right direction. And sometimes it's even more than that. I mean, sometimes I have this really cool way, really unique way to just generate ideas that, that are truly like out of this world, like literally out of this world. So, I love doing that. I love coming up with unique ways to make your business stand out and really open doors. Open doors for entrepreneurs so that they can step into their best life and into their best business.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the topic is unleashing your entrepreneur spirit, because it really is, it's your soul living its purpose.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
I tell people, again, something that I say a lot, I'm like, it's not just, I think we a lot of times think of the diagram of the triangle or the pyramid where it's mind, body, and spirit. And that's beautiful. But as an entrepreneur, it's mind, body, spirit, business. And it takes that triangle and it turns it into a diamond, mind, body, spirit, business. It all goes together when you're an entrepreneur.
I love that. I love it. That is so cool. Absolutely. Wow. Now, did you find it hard to... Go ahead. Go
ahead, Linda.
I know, I was so excited. Was it hard promoting this type of business where you're, helping people? Did you find people were resistant to this?
I haven't found that. But I've also, I learned very quickly who was my target market, and that that saved me a lot of time, that saved me a lot of headaches, that saved me a lot of disbelief, and that saved me a lot of insecurities. I see so many people that compare themselves and compare their business to others, and that can be the beginning of a spiral, downward spiral, is when you start comparing yourself to others. It makes it really difficult. So I love, that's probably the favorite part, one of my favorite parts about what I do is, I help people see their own individuality and their own authenticness, and I don't even know if that's a word, authenticness. I help them. Yeah, it does. If not, I'm owning it. No, I can add that to my resume. Word maker upper.
Word maker uplifter.
Yeah.
Because there is so much competition. I feel that there, people are competing, and that's what I love about that is that this really does bring it down to a very individual, because we all are so unique in our own way, and we have our own special gifts. Even though you can be a real estate agent, and there's tons of other real estate agents, but you have your own special way of being that real estate agent and finding that creative way and doing this type of work where you're bringing that to a different light and you're showing them something that's unique and different as to how they could do it differently, right? Because you're having them go to their highest success.
Yes,
amazing.
And one of my favorite quotes, and I don't even know exactly how. One of my favorite visuals is, the flower does not stand, does not worry about the flower next to it. It just stands there and blooms. And I love giving that to my clients, where it's like, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Come from a place that's heart-centered, that's soul-inspired. Come from a place of giving your knowledge. That's all you got to worry about, and the clients will come to that. If you come from a place of being good and you come from a place of being light, that's what's going to attract the clients. Not trying to be like anybody else either. That's the other thing is, people try something, it doesn't work, so then they try what everybody else is doing. I'll tell you what, as soon as I see somebody if everybody's turning left, I'm going to for sure be the one that's turning right. I have no interest in trying to fit in. I'm done trying to fit in.
Well, it's kind of like the fork in the road. I just posted something on Facebook about that, well, not just, but recently, about the fork in the road, the one less traveled or the one that's everybody's traveled, because there's actually the book out. And and he decided to go for the one less traveled because everybody else had traveled the other one. So, but we're so afraid of opening that door that we really don't know what's behind that door. But for me, I think that's the beauty of it, because to not really know, but if you're if your heart, that's something, that yearning, like with you, when that calling, that yearning, right, that you knew you had to go for this. It's like, I feel it's the same thing for people. It's like when you have that, it's like that's where you want to go. So I love that. I'm all about being unique. I'm all about being different. I don't want to do everything everybody else has done. I want to do it differently. So, yes. I can totally relate to that.
And I think that most people want that. It's just overcoming that speed bump when they hit it, instead of, it's overcoming that and just not trying to follow and be the status quo. It's how are you standing out?
Love that.
I love it. I mean, and sometimes it doesn't sit well with others, and that's okay. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, you know what, I disagree, and I would not. When I disagree with something, I'm much more vocal about it now than I used to be. I used to think, well, everybody else is going this way, so I should too. And nope, not anymore.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I love it.
We've got about 4 minutes left, and go ahead.
I think the big thing too is that I totally left it. No. Comfort zone. That's one last thing that I really want to touch on is comfort zone. It's probably one of the bigger mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make, is they get very comfortable where they're at, even if they're not attaining success or if they're not reaching their goals. They get comfortable. They like to hide behind, their laptop or behind social media. And I'm telling you, be out in front, be a leader. As soon as something feels comfortable, shift, do something different, because nothing good is ever going to come from your comfort zone.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, we've got 3 minutes left, and I want to get this really quick. What is one gem that you'd like to share with our listeners that has helped you in your awakening?
Believe. Really, you got to just believe in yourself and believe that what's starting to come through, they're not just voices in your head. I think that was very concerning for me in the very, very beginning is, gosh, society tells me that I'm going crazy. Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? No. It was just believing and trusting and feeling that when those insights are coming in and when you're tapped in and you're getting thoughts and ideas and you're excited about it, that's coming from source. That's coming from a high vibrational energy place to fuel you and to set you up for success. So pay attention and believe in it. It's guiding you towards your dreams.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. And then how can people get in touch with you again?
Website's great, yourintuitiveceo.com.
Awesome. So I just really want to thank you, Amber, for being on the show today, really. I mean, it's just so, I just love what I do, really. I mean, it just brings so much light, and it really helps just raising the consciousness, awakening people, and you're about that. I'm about that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and you have some great questions. And people should know, we did not have anything scripted out here. This was just, wow, this was awesome. I loved it.
And I was going to say, because that's me too earlier, is that this is all, it's not even me, it's source. I just let whatever flow through, and I don't know, it's just a passion that I have. Same thing with you. So, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And thank you for all the listeners out there who joined us today, the caller who called in today. Thank you so much for calling in. Beautiful, great question. You're on an amazing ride on your journey, so just relish in it and bask in it and love it. And thank you for the people who will be joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. Follow us. Subscribe,
all of them.
Like us. We're everywhere, all over. We're on Pinterest, so just look for us everywhere. The videos will be up and there. Again, subscribe, comment, and like. And I just want to say thank you again, Amber. Really, I just really thank you. And then also join us next week. Oh, you're welcome. And then join us next week, April 23rd, for our next show, Great Design Equals Increased Income with Liz Blizz. And, yeah, just awesome. So we were really blessed, and so I just appreciate it so much. So thank you.
Thanks so much. Be the good, be the light.
All right, you too. Thank you, and everybody else out there.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Thanks. Bye.